Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Beautiful soul family, and welcome to Weekly Wisdom and Insights, your home for spiritually guided transformation and empowerment. I'm your host, Dearjames, and together with the unseen, Spirit, Source, and Symphony, we look at the current energies and we go as guided. And I was just smiling as at the top of the hour. Welcome, Colleen. I was just smiling. Sometimes we take things for granted, right? And I was just listening to the introductory music and everything, and it just invigorates me, gets me going, makes me smile. It's inspirational. So just putting that out there into the universe about enthusiasm. We have some big themes this week. We were off last week, as you all know, and this is the final show of the double seven, because of course July is a 7-month and 2023 is a 7-year. Welcome, Olivia. So as you are joining from around the globe, say hello, put a comment in, let us say hello, and remember that we incorporate your questions and your comments live throughout the broadcast. So we have a beautiful, beautiful theme. We have a couple themes going on here. And so the main theme is, and this is going to be interesting too, the word inter, it's actually a prefix, I-N-T-E-R. So that I-N-T-E-R, and that means among, between, reciprocal, but you're going to see how the I-N-T-R, it's going to play out in a few different other words here. But the main theme is interconnectedness hyphen in the groove. And let me just show you this beautiful image of our main theme. Let's just start out there. Interconnectedness in the groove. And here is this beautiful, shimmering, futuristic infinity symbol, the infinity wave. And in the groove means having a continuous series of successes. And so we're ending this, it's an ending and a beginning, because it's not really ending, because this double 7 month launches us right into August, which is an 8-month, and here is the 8 turned on its side, this shimmering aspect of having a continuous series of successes. And it's a mental construct, right? Welcome, Elizabeth. Hello from France. And Alicia from Los Angeles. And Jennifer, welcome from France. So there is this beautiful messaging that's going on. And again, we took some time off. It was purposeful. And what's interesting also about this week is it is again like the show on the 12th, where we were talking about the 17th, the Cancer new moon on the 7th, but the show was on the 12th. That became the numbers became a 22, which became a 4. They had us take off last week. This week, 7/26/2023, is again a 22 over 4, which you're not really meant to reduce master numbers, but a 2 plus 2 equals 4, 4 being foundational. So what they're really saying to us, opening up and kind of wrapping this all up, is interconnectedness, how we are so interconnected with Source, Spirit, Source, Symphony, Self, each other, Mother Earth, planet. It is to remember our interconnectedness. That is the overarching message of the theme. And then, and this has got me, I know Jennifer personally, so it's just got me, I'm doing a little shout out here, Jennifer, about how this has me thinking that in the groove, that beautiful wave symbol, I'm just bringing it back up again, it's about being in the groove. And the image that I had, because knowing Jennifer personally, is just dancing, being in the groove. We've had many opportunities to do that, and that is somewhat this image. So from a spiritual place, from a enthusiasm space, there is this interconnectedness, be in the groove, because being in the groove is having a continuous series of successes. And those successes can be from just the most simple. The successes can be seen as witnessing something, bearing witness to something. You're out, you walk out the door, you see a rainbow in the sky, you see the most beautiful, abundant, flowers and so forth. That can be a success. To the most, large and extraordinary, depending on how how your judgment system and value systems and everything. But, to getting the job of a lifetime, the career of a lifetime, scoring the next client, whatever, moving into your new place, whatever it's a continuous series of successes. That is what this beautiful theme and symbol is. And it's what's moving us into the 8-month, and of course the Lion's Gate, which is on 8/8. So excited about this and interesting. Yes, exactly. We have definitely had groovers, exactly. So the next thing that's very interesting about the energies right now, and I'm going to bring this up, and it has to do with let me go into the main energies first and then into the astrological influences, because this is where the number 42, the astrological occurrences, and the importance and the hidden meaning of the number 42. So, but let me just bring it up here. We're going to go into the main energies. So it's 7/26/2023, 7 all month long and all year long. And these armies, legions, correct discipline, knowing that we have everything we need. Then today, the 26th, and we're looking at 26, it's about controlled power and how when we have controlled power, we're not defensive, we're not reactive, we don't have anything to prove. We just are. We are one with our soul source connection. We are one with our soul GPS. And thereby, we amplify it. We magnify, we amplify. We don't need to discuss. We don't need someone else's approval or permission or acceptance. We are operating in this controlled power. We are one with our soul source connection. We are one with our soul. And our soul is pure, divine, good, neutral, and thereby, when we in the groove, when we are in that groove, it needs no defense or explanation. We are able to magnify it. And you'll see, we'll come to some more of this with hexagram 26. 8, which is, of course, the 2 and the 6 become an 8, and that's next month as well. A lot about uniting and unite, coming together, bringing ourselves together, being one with ourself, one with our soul, one with others. It's about coming together, collaborating, not competing, collaborating. I know Elizabeth is doing this a lot with, if you're following her posts and everything, in these artist experiences and communities and vernissages and exhibitions, and this collaboration, the beauty of collaborating. That is what we're talking about, not competing. Then, of course, this 22, it becomes the overall 22, and 22 is about adorning. And typically we will know that adorning grace, and it's to accept. 22 is the most powerful master number. But adorning is also in that moment of so our vehicle, our home, our clothing, where we work, how we create, our first go-to is external adorning. However, this is also talking about the internal, how we adorn mind, thoughts, labels, perceptions, judgment, all of these things, and how we refine our adornment from the inside out. This date also, 7/26/2023, also becomes a 40. 40 is about deliverance and how we're being delivered from the old to the new. I'll bet at times a painful process to bear witness to, and how we untangle from the past. It is the Alexander the Great and the Gordian knot and cutting through. No more sitting there trying to figure out how to untangle it. No more sitting there, on the hamster wheel over and over and over. It's just a deliverance. It's a cut through. It's an untangle. And last but not least is the 4, where all of this comes together. And the 4 is about youthful folly and how we try again. Well, youthful folly, the music in the beginning, it's enthusiasm. It brings a smile to my soul and to my being. And it invokes this kind of youthful folly, like anything's possible. Anything is possible. And so the universe is saying, the unseen is saying, try again. In essence, don't give up on yourselves. Don't give up on us, humanity, the unseen, the reciprocity, the interconnectedness. Don't give up. Refine. Double down in our commitment to be open to receive, to change, to evolve, to move forward, to find out who we are on the other side of ... And you can insert your personal experience on the other side of this relationship, on the other side of this job, on the other side of this location, on the other side of this, whatever it may be. It's about youthful folly, not giving up on yourselves, not giving up on the collective us, the we. And thereby we move forward. And again, remember, they're saying in the moment, as much as we would love others to walk with us, join with us, be at the same space, level, place as us, that's not the way it works. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't. And it's simply 22 adorning. It's the grace that we afford ourselves and others to be at our own space, place, tempo. I want to bring up, before we launch into, no, they're saying to go ahead. Okay, so we're going to go right into, and let me know how this is resonating, because the other thing too, let me lead into this at work. We're coming into the astrological influences. There's a very big message. And remember, Pluto is in it's at that 29th degree of Capricorn. It's gone back to do what? Clean house. It's tying up loose ends before it officially launches for the next 22-ish years into Aquarius, of which hasn't happened since the French and American revolutions and so forth. So here it is doing this cleanup. It's wanting to, and cleanup can mean tear down. So as we're witnessing, we're seeing old beliefs, old structures, old paradigms crumble, so they can be swept up, cleaned up, so that we make space for the new. And that message is very strong as well. The matriarchal Aquarian, Pluto and Aquarius, this whole advance, this whole moving forward, this whole return to the divine feminine. This is, as you've seen in previous shows, Amaji, a return to the mother, Sumerian, the cradle of civilization, and how it denotes freedom, monomission, this release from enslavement in all forms. So we have that going on. So let's move into, this cleanup. This is the theme. So here we are with the astrological influences. And literally the theme in the astrological influences, cleaning house. So there are 3 times where Pluto is square the nodal axis. And the nodal axis are these points. They're not planets or asteroids or anything. They're points that have to do with the moon and Earth and the sun and so forth. And they just change. So the north node is in Aries, the south node is in Libra, and the north node denotes where humanity is going. South node denotes what we're to release and what, to find the best in. And so here's Pluto square. Square is an abrasive aspect. So Pluto is squaring. So Pluto representing what's hidden, the underworld, what has not seen the light, and it brings it up. And I'll go into this with Pam Youngin's North Point Journal here. So 3 times on the 22nd, the 25th, which was yesterday, and then coming up on the 28th, Friday. And it's going to play out through mid-August. Also on the 22nd, Venus retrograde in Leo. So Venus representing the divine feminine, retrograding in the sign of Leo, the lion, the divine masculine, Mars, for 42 days. On 7/28 Friday, Mercury, how we communicate, the messenger to the gods, enters Virgo. Virgo, the sign of the divine feminine, the mother, for 42 days. So these are this 42 days. And how the 42 represents, go through and look from a biblical standpoint, you will see many references to the number 42. And in essence, this 42, the Rubik's Cube, I believe has one extra, but so it's like solving, it's like what they're saying to me in the moment is solving the unsolvable mystery. And when we think of what we call God, and no matter the religion, it's almost as if it's an unsolvable mystery. It is something that we have a knowing about. It is something that we either have a faith and a belief in or we don't. And yet it's the master, what they're saying is the master of all creation. And so this number 42. So Mercury enters Virgo. So here's Venus retrograde in Leo. And remember, for everyone really, Venus rules money, but it also rules beauty. So everyone be mindful. You're changing anything about your wardrobe, your hair, your makeup, your clothing, your style. You really want to shy away from doing that during a Venus retrograde. It won't last. It won't be what you want it to be. So be mindful of that. Okay, so let's move into what this means. This is from Pam Youngin's North Point Journal, and I'll put the link in the show on Facebook. And so she says, the theme is cosmic therapy. Pluto is often called the psychotherapist planet, known for bringing what has been repressed or suppressed into our awareness so that it may be understood, dismantled, and transmuted. Transmuted, because it's energy. It can't be killed. We can't go back and kill the divine masculine and the Piscean patriarchal rule, era. That's not the point. We don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. We take the very best of it. We look at 18, the decay, we repair what's spoiled, what needs to be understood, dismantled, and transmuted, and we move forward. With the dwarf planet at the bending of the moon's nodal axis now, we may be surprised by the unsolicited feelings and memories that are coming to the surface. Old personality structures that have limited us in some way are being cracked wide open, allowing a wide variety of emotions to be revealed and experienced. The point and the benefit of this, and I implore you to, each time an emotion, this unsolicited feelings and emotions and memories and things, go inside. Look internally not externally. Look internally to see, and or if you're looking with somebody externally, allow that to be simply the mirror, the prop, the character in your play to see yourself better. Because this is about this cosmic therapy, this cleaning house, this releasing it, this final, they're saying like the final frontier, this final stage of releasing, so that when we show up in the new, we are sparkly, shiny, pretty. I've got all of you in my head, Colleen, Olivia, Alicia, Elizabeth, Jennifer. It's how we show up and how we let go of the past. And letting go of the past means letting go. It's first witnessing the truths of ourselves, right? That's what's so great about this, because it's an inside job, and you'll see how that plays out with hexagram 26. She goes on to say, ultimately, this is a very deep cleansing designed to clear away the residue of patterns and memories that have kept us disempowered in some way. And notice how we're coming into Leo. We're in the sign of Leo. We're coming into August, prime Leo season. And they talk about, in the I Ching and everything, they talk about the tiger's goo. Here she's talking about this residue of patterns and memories. That's what we're cleansing and purifying and letting go of. 18, the decay, repairing what's spoiled. We're dealing with the tiger's goo, but it's our goo. They were just, anybody that's a people, places, things, that's just the reflection. And that these patterns and memories, that's goo, that has kept us disempowered in some way. What has been hidden must come to the surface so that it no longer controls us from behind the scenes or inhibits our evolutionary progress. It's that old saying, everywhere you go, there you are. We don't want to drag this baggage along with us. We want to release it. She goes on to say, but as with most cleanup work, we may be finding the chores tedious and tiring, and whistling while we work seems a ludicrous suggestion. There's like that feeling of, oh, let's just get on with it. Let's just go. Let's get to the other side of all of this. I hear you. Amen. Can I have a witness? I hear you. She says, perhaps we can take heart that this is an opportunity to do a thorough cleansing, and that once we have completed this process, we will feel a new courage emerge. This revitalized inner fire will enable us to feel more confident and energized, and more willing to take risks we once shied away from, since we are free of the fears that once shackled us. See, we've just got to get to the other side. And it's about facing the fears. It's about going as guided. It is about listening to your soul source connection. It is about taking the necessary steps that you know to be true for you, no matter what. And doing that cleansing. If the person you love or other people aren't doing it, namaste, I bow to the divine in you. And that is their experience. We're only in control of our experience. So that's where this is leading. Pluto was exactly square the north and south nodes once last week, which was on the 22nd, and that precise aspect repeats twice this week, on Tuesday and on Friday. This 3-time event is possible since Pluto is retrograded because the nodes are traveling backward in their usual 2 steps ahead, 1 step back dance. The influence of this powerful aspect will be with us until mid-August, when the nodes move beyond the active zone. So they move beyond, they arc out beyond this. So, and again, we're on the new axis, North Node in Aries, South Node in Libra. And Aries, the lamb, the ram, moving the first out of the astrological signs and wheel and everything. So this is actionary, and it's new frontier. It's delivering us to new frontier. That is where, and of course, delivering us meaning proactive. It's participatory. You don't want the cosmic 2x4. So, also, Venus retrograde. So Venus is also drawing our attention to the past and bringing up old issues. Now traveling backward through Leo for the next 42 days, we are in a period of re-evaluation, to revisit ourselves, to revalue ourselves, reassessing what we truly value. One of our tasks during this time is to observe when we feel creatively inspired by what we are doing versus when we are merely repeating out of habit what we're used to doing. Powerful. The enthusiasm. Where's the arc of destiny going? What are we excited about? As the goddess of love and beauty, Venus rules our relationship to anything that we can say we love, whether that's another sentient being, an object, nature, or a creative or pleasurable experience. Essentially, Venus is associated with whatever causes us to open our hearts and our wallets. See, love and money. These are the areas we are asked to review now. So it's to be aware of big ticket items. It's aware, remember, having a continuous series of successes. A success can be the simplest thing that is between you and source and nature, Mother Earth, and it's free. It's completely free and can be completely priceless. So it need not be big ticket, big expressions. The point here is self-worth, self-value, this internal review, clean up, clear it out. Because as we arrive, even next month, but they're giving me like the 8, so it's our symbol in the groove, and the 8 year. So we're going to have, all next year. So this is, and that coincides with Pluto moving into Aquarius for the next 20 plus years. So those are big elements that, and I'm just going to go into the first, I'm going to go to the second thing, number 42. So biblically, between the generations that are listed in Genesis, 14 generations. So 14 times 3. 42 generations to Master Jesus. So this 14 times 3, the sevens, so 7 representing God's creations. On the 7th day, God rests, right? So, and again, take this from a spiritual place, not a religious place. I'm using this as a backdrop. 7 representing God's creations. 6 represents, because man was created on the 6th day, humankind. 7 times 6, 42. 7 times 6, interconnectedness. And the first thing they said, I'm going to mix these two together, because in doing that, this interconnectedness in the groove, 42 days, they said, I heard the song or the phrase, time after time, Cyndi Lauper's Time After Time. And they said, being there always, soul, source, spirit. And when you look at the chorus line of the song, the Cyndi Lauper Time After Time song, it says, if you're lost, you can look and you will find me, time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I will be waiting, time after time. This is what God, Spirit, Source, Symphony, Soul is saying to us. Time after time, if you're lost and you look, you will find me. If you fall, I will catch you. I will be waiting. It's footprints in the sand. It is the reminder to re-examine and reconnect with, reclaim your sovereignty, your divinity, your oneness, your interconnectedness with Source. Because they're always there. Very powerful. Then with number 42, they said the 7, God's creations, 6, and remember 7, divine fulfillment, divine completion, the foundation of God's word, all of God's creation. That's that's the 7. 6 being humanity, man, womankind. And then I heard interplay, interwoven, an interwoven tapestry. And they said inextricably linked. The definition of inextricably is in a way that is impossible to disentangle or separate. We're never meant to be apart or separate from our soul source connection, from divinity, from our true origin, our true nature. It is only ego, mind, personality that causes any separation, any discord, dis-ease, you name it, put a DIS in front of it. That's what's happening. So they're reminding us that of this interplay, interwoven tapestry, inextricably linked, interconnectedness, and to be in the groove. And that when you fall, or when you forget, when you are disconnected, reconnect, reclaim, reunite. Because remember, 8, uniting, unite. That's what we are. The 26 is an 8, but that's all next month. It's all next year. This coming back together, which says to me, let me ask you, put in the comments, do you feel the awareness? Can you feel the awareness of this reuniting, this reclaiming of your sovereign self, this coming back together, that you can see it's possible? Granted, on this side, that you can see the chaos and the destruction, everything, that the goo, the tiger's goo, it's being dismantled. It is being brought to bear so that it gets transmuted. It's got to come up into the light to be transmuted. So, Jennifer, I've been reading a lot about the new segment we are entering, and it looks pretty exciting. But also, I believe one must stay mindful and steer ahead with an even temper, not go too crazy. Exactly. And you're going to see how on point, Jennifer, that is to our hexagram 26, because that is exactly the, it's about controlled power, and how, again, you don't run roughshod. You're not over controlling. Let me just bring this up. It's a beautiful time to do so. It ties in with Jennifer. Overcoming others shows force. When you overcome yourself, you are strong. See, it's an inside job. This is a beautiful quote from Carrie Hone from cafeosoul.com. Overcoming others shows force. When you overcome yourself, you are strong. And see, that's that whole point of, you don't have to yell and scream and, roar like the lion and run roughshod and go crazy and so forth. That's just demonstrating force. When you are truly strong, you just are. Oh, you don't accept this, or you don't, believe this or whatever. That's okay. That's you. It just is. I am moving this way. I am going this way. The way. That's what this beautiful quote speaks to. Elizabeth saying, yes, I feel whole and unafraid. Beautiful. Yes, yes, yes. Olivia, yes, I can see more completeness. Exactly. The wholeness, the completeness, the being unafraid because you're feeling it's so possible. So you're so aligned. And there's an awareness of the new. The old is crumbling. The new is rising. Jennifer saying, personally, I feel like I am walking out of the chaos. Exactly. Because in the calm, in the eye of the hurricane, it's calm. So out of chaos comes that hexagram 6364. It's chaos, calm, chaos, calm. And so it's this walking out of the chaos, calm. And Olivia saying, newest comments aren't coming up she's saying her newest comments aren't coming up. That may be a technical, Mercury glitch, but so with this, then number 3, they said Tao, the way. And they're saying to us, so Tao is the way. We talk about the way, not our way, not your way, not my way, the way. and the way, soul source, GPS are true north. Here's the north node in Aries, first out of the gate. New. And they said Tau, the way, which means the way. And they said quantum leap, extraordinary measures, extraordinary means. So they're talking about a quantum leap forward. Now, granted, our time and time only exists on Earth, and yet time has sped up. I'm sure everybody can agree that what used to feel like molasses that took centuries, decades and centuries, is happening in nanoseconds now. So they're talking about, the unseen is talking about Tau, the way, it's number 3, the Trinity, quantum leap, extraordinary measures, extraordinary means. It's extraordinary measures and extraordinary means that are bringing about this change, this renewal, this sense of purpose and vitality. And again, what they're saying is, however, we have to have the enthusiasm, the youthful folly, the openness to recognize it, receive it, make space for it, clean out the old to make space for it. And thereby, but it's going to come together. It's like the 747. It's, here's the universe, here's us, and we come in together to meet, to land, to take off. That's what they're talking about. So Olivia is saying, don't we create our own whole universe, each of us? Yes, we co-create. And thus, everything we experience has to do with our perceptions, our beliefs, our thoughts, our openness, our fears. And that's why they're saying, here's these last few months, and it's roughly 5-6 months of the old, of cleaning out the old. So she says, Olivia is going on to say, so we can't blame others if we accept them as real instead of realizing they are a figment of our old beliefs. Exactly. So in other words, there should never be that we're blaming others. Everyone, 8 billion people on the planet. And no matter where someone fits in on a soul-to-soul basis, they are playing the role we asked of them. No matter how painful, no matter the cloak of opposites, meaning they show up in an opposite manner, when we look below the surface of any situation, and again, there's been some horrific historical acts and things. When we look, my go-to is I go to the point of, okay, I know what's on the surface. We know the tragedy or the excitement or, something positive, something less than positive. That's easy. That's on the surface. Then I just sit and I say, okay, what is their soul or souls teaching us? What did they say they would do for me individually, for us as humans, humanity? What role are they playing for us or for me? And then there, to Olivia's point, there would be no blame, because in that way we're able to see below the surface. We're able to step back, to process, so that we ultimately, as Pam Young was talking about, we bring it up, we process, so we can transmute. Olivia goes on to say, once we change ourselves, accept ourselves, those around us will disappear if they aren't part of our experience of the new. Exactly. Because everything's energy. Like attracts like. If we're in an energy, in a space of openness and love and unity and kindness and goodness, we attract more of it. We might have a shadow aspect moment or something. Somebody cuts us off, somebody does something, and yet you can say, let me revisit that aspect of myself. What are they demonstrating? What are they teaching? An immediate, easy one, impatience, unhappiness in them. Will let me, that as a mirror, as someone showing up in my play, is there an aspect of myself that is unhappy, disappointed, frustrated? You see what I mean? It's a constant, we're in constant interconnectedness, constant reciprocity. This in the groove, this a continuous series of successes. So what's on offer to us is a continuous series of successes. That doesn't always mean, the wheel going around. What's so great about it is that they're not, it's like the highs and lows, but our lows don't have to be lows when we recognize their successes, their opportunities, growth, change, to transmute, to evolve beyond, to be more than what we were a moment before. So yes, Olivia, absolutely. And thus, this is where when we change, it's not about changing others. And yes, it's painful. It's painful sometimes when we want people to walk with us or be at the same pace, space, place as us. But that doesn't happen all the time. In Adorning 22, Grace, it is about allowing another their soul's journey. Give it a good cry, give it a good, whatever needs to happen. And then, namaste, I bow to the divine in you. With grace, release it and move forward. Wish them well. You would want that of others for you. You would want to be wished well. That's what's on offer here. So let's jump into, before I want to go into controlled power, because this goes to both Olivia and Jennifer Elizabeth's comments. Controlled power. It's hexagram 26. Its action is to amplify. Its hidden influence is propriety, subordinate. It's like subordinate the ego to the will of the soul. The will of the soul is pure. It's divine, it's neutral, it's pure. It's the Hippocratic Oath, do no harm. It's impossible for the soul to do harm. Cannot, will not. Its underlining cause is gathering together, network. So gathering together, uniting, unite, coming together. And it says your vital force is not wanting, only waiting for you to tap it. Your vital force, your soul, your vital life force is your soul, your spirit, your soul, is not wanting. It's only waiting for you to connect with it, tap into it, lead with it, live by it. That type of thing. And this is Cafe Au Soul, carry home, cafeausoul.com, hexagram 26. There's a quote by Anonymous that says, "We are told not to cross the bridge until we come to it. But this world is owned by those who crossed bridges in their imaginations far ahead of the crowd." So to dream, to be youthful, youthful folly, to be youthful, imagination, to be inspired, to do that with ourselves and to afford it to others, to share it with others. A simple, you look really beautiful. Leave off today. Leave off the limiter or the qualifier. Leave that off. Wow, you have a glow about you. Wow, that is how interconnectedness. It's the boomerang. It's a really good boomerang. It's what Olivia is speaking to. What we put out, how we change, how we afford ourselves greater grace and so forth. Because and let me jump to this really quickly. This is this beautiful, because the other theme that was going on is, and this is our mantra, picture perfect life. And what's on the images of a beautiful, like rainbow colored bird of paradise. Paradise. Picture perfect life. And so all of these things can align in our imaginations, in our approach to things, in our crossing the bridge before we ever get to it, creating the moment, creating in vision, and it will be different for every person. What is your ideal picture perfect life? What does it look like? Who's in it? Where is it? And keep repeating to yourself, picture perfect life. Perfect doesn't mean perfect, meaning the perfection in the imperfection. Picture perfect life is like, I just am so full. I am so full, so happy, so full, so joyful that I'm beaming, I'm busting. That's a picture perfect life. And what those components are will be different for every individual. However, the unseen is saying to us, they said to us a few shows back, dream a little dream of me. And yes, Elizabeth, dream board manifestations. Exactly. What is a picture perfect life? Dream it, feel it, dream board manifest it, create it. There's multiple ways. And they said, dream a little dream of me. And so this is, again, it's about recreating and re-inspiring, reinvigorating, reimagining ourselves, our interconnectedness. And then, again, this beautiful image, being in the groove. Because when we're in the groove, it's a picture perfect life. We recognize our interconnectedness. We recognize, and we don't have to prove anything to anyone. You simply are. That is the message of hexagram 26. So, true power need not be demonstrated as creative energy is restrained beneath the mountain of keeping still. Ta Chu, which is controlled power, focuses on the power of silence and stillness. While others are running around demonstrating their power, one who is strong has no need to prove anything. Controlled power has propriety as its hidden influence because a will under the sheer steadiness of a mountain allows it to become incredibly powerful. I mean, think of the Buddha sitting at the tree, underneath the tree. Hercules holding up the mountain. The image of the quote where the human, this one coming up, where the human is literally rolling a boulder up a mountain because they've become strong. Their strength is simple if they're one with it. So there is also a need for timing in appropriate expression. Another's insecurity is no match for the power of silence. So you don't have to defend. You don't have to argue. You don't have to yell, scream, and shout. The power of silence is no match for another's insecurity. That's theirs. It need not be yours. Since controlled power follows innocence, all that is learned from patience and non-action is now ready to be harnessed creatively. When the will is in the service of acceptance and the good of all, this deliberate intent is unstoppable. See, when we're aligned, soul-source connection, when the ego-mind personality is in service to the soul, it's unstoppable. The message we deliver is amplified because our inner truth radiates as the embodiment of Tao, the way. Combining holding firm, holding steady, holding to heaven's way, and nurturing others, this is the hexagram of the true sage. When water meets a dam, it continues to rise in power until it overwhelms whatever blocked its flow. So remember, a dam, it's vast, it just keeps widening until at some point it spills over. And typically with a dam, it's controlled. The release of the water is controlled to maintain the reservoir, the body of water. When you renew your willingness to marry to your Tao daily, your Tao, your soul's, because your soul is in alignment with, it's one with, it's interconnected, it's one with the way. However, that The way is yours. It's the uniqueness of you as a creation. That's what makes 8 billion people one and yet unique. So when water meets a dam, it continues to rise in power until it overwhelms whatever blocked its flow. When you renew your willingness to marry to your Tao daily, you become a reservoir for enormous creative expression that benefits all. Patriarchal Piscean was about the individual. Matriarchal Aquarian is about we the people, all, how it benefits all. And we derive individual benefit by the expression of us benefiting all. It's the reverse. You can draw on a power that need not be demonstrated, but is just so. Its simplicity makes everything easy. When innocence is present, this is the beautiful image I brought up. When innocence is present, it is possible to tame. Here's this beautiful sleeping lion. The roar, the king of the jungle, right? And here is the most innocent view, content, completely vulnerable, because innocence is present. And when we have innocence within, we are able to tame those aspects of ourselves that would exhibit force. We don't need to conquer other people. We only need to conquer ourselves, tame ourselves, allow others their soul's journey. Because we know little, the unseen knows all. We don't know what someone else's journey is going to be, or what experience. We may never wish to harm. They may, so that they experience harm themselves. I wouldn't advocate that. However, it's not to say that that's not another soul's journey. And it also doesn't mean you do nothing. It doesn't mean that we passively sit by and allow things. Again, if it's our soul's journey, we're able to step up. However, we can step up in a way that demonstrates grace, that demonstrates, Gandhi and India's independence from the United Kingdom. They didn't raise a hand. They were routinely, if you read the story and so forth, the Indian people, came up against the British Empire, the British forces. They never lifted a hand. They did not cause harm in a forceful, aggressive, physical manner. Yet the British Empire did. And they repeatedly took these beatings until the press, it demonstrated the oppression, the arrogance, the hubris, the force of the British Empire, which liberated India. That's what brought it to bear. So this is speaking to this. When innocence is present, it is possible to tame. Innocence cultivates virtue. Yet virtue, renewed daily, ensures a state of innocence. The Master said, the perfected nature, sustaining itself and enduring, is the gateway of life. The perfected nature, soul source, true north. Sustaining itself and enduring is the gateway of life. An innocent perspective allows you to approach the gateway or threshold of perception to become the master of your experiences. It allows you to see yourself. It allows you to be in control, controlled power, meaning I am. It is. Controlled power is the hexagram of the true sage. So it's a beautiful way, this hexagram at 26, it's a beautiful way to complete, and I want to say and complete this double seven, this month of double sevens, because it sets the stage. It is showing us the way. The firm is able to keep strength still. This is great correctness. Much time is spent preparing for and delivering your response. Only when you are not defending do you activate the controlled power of the great. Again, we can have discussions. We can collaborate. We can compromise. We can communicate earnestly. We need not defend. It is simply to allow it to be. It's the empty vessel. This is right for me, and I move forward. I need not change you. She goes on to say, you can change what the world will look and feel like by approaching it differently. Acquaint yourself with the teachings of antiquity, and you will see how desire can both draw in experience and close you to it. Approaching the gateway of perception, you make the choice of what you will find. This goes to Olivia's comment. It's always going to be an inside choice. It will only ever be an inside choice. Even when we are in interaction, reciprocity, interconnectedness with others, we only have control of our choice, not theirs. The master said, do not listen with your ears, but listen with your mind. Do not listen with your mind, but listen with your vital force. See, again, we got to get below the surface. We got to get below what we see, hear, to what we natively, intuitively know. And that means I am able to see the grace this experience, this person, this moment is affording me because it is for me. It is not happening to me. Meaning, yes, we are experiencing it. So in that way, yes, it's happening, quote unquote, to us. But in the overall truth, the depth of the pearl, the wisdom, is that it's for us. Am I able to see it? So don't listen with your ears. Don't listen with your mind. Listen with your vital force, your soul source connection. Ordinary hearing does not go beyond the ears, and the mind does not go beyond its symbols, what it perceives, knows, believes, thinks. Your vital force is not wanting, but waiting. Life brings together all that is void to itself. Be empty. That is all. See, by being empty, we don't prejudge, we don't have judgment, we don't have anger, we don't have resentment, confusion. We release those things so that we can see. That then allows us to truly transmute. And then, to Olivia's point, we move forward. Sometimes we move forward with those people because that's what the souls agreed to. At other point, it's a reason, a season, a lifetime. Other times, we came in together at this moment for this time period for us to, quote unquote, receive these lessons / opportunities. Oh, I'm transmuting, I move forward. You're struggling or holding on or not quite there yet. Okay. And we separate. We move at different times and tempos. That's what so it's be empty. Thus you can master things and not be injured by them. When you tame your desires, not eating at home brings good fortune because you move beyond your perceptual routines to be nourished by discovery. I love this because it really speaks to humans are creatures of habit. When we step outside of those habits, we're nourished by discovery. I love that. Gather the energy of desire's outward attachment and tap it as the inner fuel that activates a powerful peacefulness. Stand at the threshold, connect with your te or vital force, and simply observe. Find comfort in your strength. See, and your strength need not be oppressive, suppressive. unkind. It need not and should not be that. When we stand empty and whatever, we just are. I have no need. I don't have to explain. And again, it's standing from the place of do no harm. The purity of the soul. It's not about doing harm. So, as we're mindful of the time, I just want to get to the last two things on from the unseen. Number 4, foundational. And they said, it just makes me giggle. They said, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. And scorned, like wrath, vengeance. And the image that I had was of the divine mother, the divine feminine. And they said, reclaiming her rightful honor, place. And so what they mean is the liberation of the divine feminine within all of us, within the whole of the whole. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. And that she's reclaiming her rightful honor, her rightful place. It's 4. Today it can reduce to a 4. It's foundational. And what they're saying in the moment is to be mindful of wrath, retribution, vengeance, because her return need not and will not, she will not, it's Libra, the south node is in Libra. It's the balancing of the scales. It is the harmonizing. It is about justice. It is about bringing about harmony, equilibrium. So again, be mindful to, as we reclaim our rightful place, the divine feminine within all of us, as we equalize that, be mindful to not, as Jennifer said, not to go too crazy. Last but not least, number 5, they said, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And then I heard the words deliberate, causal, actionary. So what they mean by this again is learn, be deliberate, causal, to have reason and righteousness, to be actionary. It's Aries, it's North Node in Aries, and yet to be conscious with ourselves and others, to be conscious. Because again, fool me once, shame on you. That was your bad. Oh, fool me twice? Well, that's shame on me. That's my bad. And thereby, it's 5. It's about change. It's about learning from our mistakes. We don't have to repudiate someone. We don't have to punish someone. We can just empty our vessel, see it for the gift that it is. You've come to teach me this, and I had to learn it twice. Well, that's on me. I need not learn it a third time. And I need not dislike or denigrate or harm or hurt or hate to simply receive the successes, the bounty, the gifts. That's the moral of that story there. So, wow, see what happens when we take a week off? So Jennifer is, yes, justice, not revenge. Although, as an Aries, I can't help liking a little revenge. Well, yes, however, no. Because, and I know you're being comical, lighthearted with this. It is that piece of just remember It's not about revenge, because then that means that boomerang is our revenge. It means we haven't really truly gotten the lesson, which is the gift, which is the wisdom. It's the pearl. Um, um, and yes, and last but not least, Elizabeth saying, in every moment we have the choice to accept each moment. Exactly. Accept it with grace and with youthful folly and with interconnectedness and being in the groove and your picture perfect life, because we are inextricably linked. It doesn't mean that the things that have been hidden and the lesser aspects of our experience of each moment is not going to be brought to the light to be transmuted. It will be. That's the point. However, the great point, the overarching point, be the empty vessel. Because when we are, then we're not in judgment. We're not in revenge and retribution. We are resting in this state of conscious awareness. Oh, I see my part. I see the part I asked you to play. And now, choice, I get to decide to get the lesson and transmute it and move forward. Because otherwise, if I don't, everywhere I go, there I am. We'll leave it with that. Thank you all for your amazing comments and presence. Next week, it will be an 8-month. I believe it's going to be August 2nd, so 8/2. And we will look at how this unite energy and how that's going to play out again for 2024. It's an 8-year, and how this all culminates in the unifying, the uniting, the cutting through, and really truly picture perfect life, this continuous and in the groove, this continuous series of successes. That's what's on offer. Love you all so very, very much. Thank you for your time, your talents, your beauty, your presence, and we will see you next week.